Hi again, everybody. My name is Greg Anderson, and this is the Good Timekeeping Show with Greg Anderson. And today, I want to talk about this watch here. But first, these are kind of more of my high-end watches that I have in my collection. I know some of you out there are probably saying to yourselves, one of these days, Greg is going to get tired of his G-Shock watches and his inexpensive Casio watches, and he's going to say, it's time for me to spend a whole lot of money on one Holy Grail watch, right? Well, the thing is, it's just really not my style. And with all due respect to those who like expensive watches, I just don't see myself ever spending, $1,000 or more on just one watch. So these are kind of more of my high-end watches that individually cost a few $100s. But I really, I'd trade this whole box for one Rolex. I don't think that's going to happen. So it may just be that the most high-end watch you're going to see me buy will be something more like this, Casio Oceanus. Let's check this one out. There you go. And I know some of you are already saying, look at that, that's gorgeous. What a great watch. And I have to admit, especially when you look at it close up like this in good lighting, a gorgeous watch. Now this is the Ocw-S100. And this, there are a few variations on this one. This one just happens to be the one with the white face. Maybe some of you know that I've talked about this before. Back in the late 60s and all through the 70s, my dad had a Seiko watch, which was, let's see, what kind was it? The Crown chronograph. This is the one Seiko put out somewhat to commemorate their involvement with the 1964 Olympics. So that's the watch that my dad had a white face like this. And so in some ways, I've always been attracted to a good watch with a white face. And so this one, even though there are other colors out there, versions of this same model, this one was attractive to me because of the white face, just something a little bit different. And as I looked around, this watch, variations of this model have been around, I think, for about 10 years now. Like going back to the year 2012. So at least the owner's manual that I downloaded had a 2012, notice on it for when it was printed. So, it's been around for a while, and I just didn't pay a lot of attention to this because I was more into the less expensive watches. This is, by some people's standards, not a very expensive watch either. So anyway, I didn't act on any impulse to buy an Oceanus watch until finally I thought, the time has come. I got a little bit of YouTube money thanks to all my viewers that have been watching my videos. And so, why not invest in something a little bit more high-end and try this out. Now, this one happens to have a titanium case, sapphire glass crystal, and a titanium band. And I bought this used. It's in really great shape. The thing is, when I got looking around, I got looking at this model, there were some I found on eBay that were still listed as brand new, but the lowest price I found for a new one of these was $900. Someone had one listed for $1,500 for one of these brand new. And so I took a chance on a used one, and the pictures looked pretty good. And when I got it, it was in great shape, just like they said it would be. Let me just kind of polish some fingerprints off of it. But it looks like if it has any scratches, they're very, very tiny. The crystal looks perfect. The clasp back there looks perfect. Everything about it just looked like great condition. So I think I lucked out on getting a good deal on a used one. The only thing that threw me off on this, and I was halfway expecting this could happen, is right here. If I hold it up this way, maybe, does that look kind of small to you? Well, the thing is, because it was used, it had already been sized to someone else's wrist. And so when they sent it to me without a box, without any instructions, and without any extra links for this band, or this bracelet, right? So I kind of thought that could happen. So before I purchased this, I looked at packparts.com, and they did list that they could get more links for this bracelet. So I went ahead and placed the order, and indeed when it came, I wasn't quite sure. I looked at it, and it's a little too small. I could barely get it on my right wrist, but even then, very uncomfortable. So I got the new, a couple more links on order, and we'll see how that goes with packparts.com. Sometimes it takes a few weeks before they can fill the order, so it's already been about 3 weeks. Any day now, I expect a shipping notice that tells me my links are coming. Then I'll add a couple links to this. It should fit my wrist by then. We can get some action with this watch. But in the meantime, I've had a chance to play around with it. So, all right, the finish. Let's take a look at this finish, because rumor has it, and maybe these rumors are true. Anyway, they say that this watch is manufactured, the case materials, manufactured in the same place out there in Japan where they manufacture cases for the Grand Seiko watch. And of course, Grand Seiko watch is well known for their great finishes. So it is a great combination of brushed and polished edges here on this, and it really looks quite good. I'm getting fingerprints all over the polished part of it. So yeah, if it is indeed manufactured side by side with those Grand Seikos, I think we're looking at good results there. Titanium, I don't know what exact kind of titanium it is, but it's fine for me. It apparently has some sort of special coating on it also that will help to protect the finish from scratches. And all I know is I did okay when it came to the quality of this one. So, yeah, I suppose inevitable that it'll get some minor scratches on it someday. But this also, I have so many watches that if there's any chance that I'm going to do something that might scratch up a watch, I'll just wear a different watch, of course. The bracelet, it's kind of a proprietary thing here. It doesn't have something that's easily removed there if you wanted to put some different kind of strap on it. It looks like this part of it here is permanently attached. So, and I'm not interested in getting a different kind of strap on here. I'm just going to get those titanium links and make it work for me in a stock configuration. I'm happy with that. If you are interested in something like this, a very similar model, a newer model, is the Ocw T200. And the thing about that one is it kind of confuses me with the way they've named these. This is the S100. The S model has titanium. The T model has stainless steel. I would have figured it would be the opposite of that, right? You know, T for titanium, S for stainless steel. But in fact, you know, it's just kind of the opposite. So this is the S model. Let's take a look at the back real quick here. See if we can get a good look at that. Oh, nice engraving on the back there. There you can see. Okay. It is the OCW-S100, made in Japan, titanium, sapphire glass, water resistant, 10 bar, multiband 6, tough movement, tough solar, wave scepter, and there you see it's module 5235. So, and like nice clasp there. Not much on the micro adjustment, but you'll see on the links here, there are actually a couple different sizes of links. I think there might even be 3, but look higher on this end, you've got kind of a half size link there. So, you know, you could, if you needed to get a little more fine tuning, you could add or remove, you know, that half size link along with those others. So, you know, I think I'm going to get some good results when I finally get this sized to my wrist correctly. Meantime, let's just show you more about what this watch can do. First of all, as you see, it's very simple. It's 3 hands and the date window. And that's really it. You know, I'm used to my Casios, my G-Shocks in particular, that have multiple alarms and countdown timers and stopwatches and backlights and beeps and all that stuff. This has none of that. It does have the Multiband 6 reception, which I love because that means it will automatically set itself to the right time and stay synchronized with atomic time. And so, you know, that's one of my favorite features on any Casio watches. But all that other stuff, it's not there. This is not a watch that I can sit and play with while I'm bored waiting for a movie to start or something like that. No, there's nothing there. You don't play with this one. It just does what it does. It has some lume on there. I'll show you that in a moment, but no backlight. So no arguments about what's better, you know, LED or EL backlight, because this doesn't have a backlight. No beeps. No alarms. No. Okay, I said that already. All right, so when you get it like this, the first thing you want to do is pull this crown out. Okay, and let me just show you there. So then the second hand raced around and parked itself right there. And if you look closely at the writing, right there, it's pointed to DEN or the Denver time zone or the Mountain time zone where I am. Now, if I wanted to just kind of rotate this crown clockwise a little bit, it would go ahead to Chicago. And look at that. That was so cool how the hour hand moved all by itself and didn't affect the other hands when it moved ahead to the Central time zone. New York City, so it goes again. So you can just kind of go all around the dial there and look at those little abbreviations there to figure out which time zone you want to be set to. And then look at that. That's so cool. I like watches where the hour hand and minute hand move independently of each other. That's just kind of fun. But let me take that back to the Denver time zone. And in most cases, that's all I would have to do. Push the crown in, and that's it. The watch is running. That's it. No more playing around with it. No more setting it up. Now, what about the Multiband 6 thing? Well, if I wanted to, here's a button right here. If I push that button one time, it's now pointing to an N for no. Otherwise, it would be Y for yes. So what it's telling me is that no, it has not checked itself against the atomic time receiver since the last time I manually tried to set it there. Normally, if I push that button, it would go over and park on the Y to tell me, yes, it has received atomic time information. But because I was just fiddling with it just now, it says no. And then, the next time it tries to set itself, after that, it'll say yes. So that's what happens with the atomic time stuff. Now, if I wanted to make it receive atomic time right now, instead of waiting until midnight when it would do it automatically, I can press and hold this button for just a couple of seconds there. First, it tells me no. Now, it's pointed to an R for ready. And that means it's ready to start receiving atomic time information. So after, I don't know, a few seconds, it might then point to the W. And I don't know, with my video and lighting equipment set up right now, it might not be good reception. Also, it's, the middle of the day, so reception is obviously better at night. But that's what would happen. It would go from ready to W for working, meaning that it would be starting to process the atomic time information. And so after a couple minutes of doing it that way, it would... it looks like it failed to receive. Again, I've got all this equipment running right now. But so that's what it would do. And then after a couple minutes, it would be all set and it would just be running normally. So you've got that. Now, what if I just wanted to set the time manually for some reason? Oh, I could, again, pull the crown out, do that. And now it's going to show me there's your time zone. So now what I do is I press and hold this button now. And it's going to, if I hold it long enough, it's showing me that means AM. If it's a little bit to the left of the 12 o'clock position, that means we're looking at just a little bit after 10 o'clock AM. Otherwise, if it were after, it would show PM there. So what I can do is I can just, move it ahead like this. If I, turn it a little faster, it will just keep going. And so once it gets past 12 o'clock, we should see the second hand move itself from AM to PM, and we'll see how that goes here. Just a moment. Almost there. Almost there. And boom. So now it's showing PM hour. So if I wanted to stop it right here and say, let's pretend that was the real time, then I could push this in and then we'd be set to, 12:20 or so PM. Okay, now let me pull this again and we'll try something else. So if I were to, again, go to the manual time setting here, and then if I tap this, do you see how the hour hand just moved a little bit? This is where I could manually set the hour hand all by itself. Let's say the minutes and the seconds were okay, but I just wanted to reset the hours. That's where I could do that. Now I press this button again while still in this mode. And maybe you saw how the date just did a little wobble there. Now I can manually set the date to some other date. And I could do it that way. Okay, let's just pretend it's the 4th. Now, if I push this again, the second hand is moved to the 6th, indicating the 6th month of the year, or June. So if I wanted to say, well, it's not really June, let's pretend it's February. So I take it back there. And so that's telling me that I've now set it to February 4th. But what about if I tap this one more time? Now, look, the hour and minute hands are doing some little dance together, and they've both pointed to the 2. And that means 2022. Now, if I do this right here real quick, that means 2023, 24, 25, 26. So if I go here to 2029, or now it's the year 2030. Okay, so that's how you manually set the time, the date, the year, all of that right there. And now I'm back to back to the start of the manual setup. And here I can again do the minutes. And when I'm all done and I've got it all set the way I want it to be, then I can just push this in here. Now, and then, it's just running normally. Now, of course, if I did that just for fun, if I wanted it to now set itself to the right time, then I would again press and hold this. And let's see if we can do it. Maybe I'll just be quiet and we'll do a little time lapse here. I'll set this down and just leave the camera rolling, and we'll see how long it takes and see if maybe this time, by chance, it will be able to set itself. All right, tell you what, let me move this outside away from the video lights, and we'll see if it has a better chance receiving its atomic time information out there, out on the back deck. So we'll give it a few minutes. And this is what it does when it finally sets itself to the right time. It's just kind of fun to see those hands move independently of each other. And it even corrected the date as well. So now it's all set. And so it seems to have a pretty good, pretty good reception here. Of course, I'm pretty close to the Colorado WWVB transmitter, relatively speaking. So reception's usually really good at my place, even during the day like this. But, where you are, it might be a little more difficult. But again, overnight, it's usually working pretty well. If you're not able to get the atomic time reception, it will run off its quartz accuracy about plus or minus 15 seconds a month. There is a way to disable the atomic time automatic reception. I'm not going to show you that. It's in the manual. So if you happen to be in a place where atomic time reception doesn't work, or you just don't want it to, you can turn that off. Also, I can show you as far as daylight saving time is concerned. If I pull this crown out, let me try this again. There's a little button here, and it's recessed in a way that you have to use a toothpick or something like that to press that button. So what I'll do here is I'm going to press this right now, and it's showing me that daylight saving time is set to automatic. See, I just kind of showed me really quickly and then went back to show me the time zone. If I hold this down, let's see, like this. Now it's telling me I can choose manual. Maybe I did that already. Manual daylight saving time. Or, let me try this again. Hold this down. Or auto daylight saving time. So what I can do here is by tapping this, once I've gotten into that mode there, I can, let's see. Hold that. Now it's manual. I can choose standard time, daylight time, standard, daylight, or again, I can go in here and make sure it's just automatic and then push the crown back in when I'm satisfied with that setting. Most of us, once you set that one time, you'll never have to set it again. So, and by default, it's probably already set to do automatic daylight saving time. So you've got that right there. And yeah, it's got a tough solar function, which means there's a solar cell built into the face of the watch. The watch will automatically charge itself just by exposure to everyday lighting conditions when you use it. And again, that's one of my favorite features on all my Casio watches. Tough solar, multiband 6, wave scepter, atomic time reception. It's great. Now, unlike your G-Shock that might have a little level indicator for the battery, low, medium, high, this doesn't show you that. It only will show you if it's ticking normally like this, that the battery's okay. If it gets to a low battery state, then this will click every 2 seconds. It'll do a double step. And that's where you know that it needs to be charged. Other than that, it's not going to give you the nitty-gritty details on its battery state. So just if it's looking like this, fine, carry on. And that's what your watch is going to do. This watch has a power save function, and what that does is after 10 p.m., if you have this watch in the dark, then the second hand will park itself at the 12 o'clock position to save a little bit of power. And if you leave it in the dark for 6 or 7 days continuously, then the hour hand and minute hand will also park themselves at the 12 o'clock position. And I think it will also stop receiving multiband 6. It will keep itself on the internal quartz accuracy. But if it's in the dark for an extended period of time, in order to save power, it will stop those hands and, you know, shut down some functions. And to take it out of that sleep state, all you have to do is put it in a well-lit area again, or press the button right there, and that will put all the, you know, the hands back in motion and get it going again. I had to download the manual because, hey, used watch, they didn't send me a manual. So when I downloaded the manual for this module, I couldn't find any reference to how you could turn off the power save mode. So you just have to deal with that. And, you know, for most of us, we're never really going to notice that's any kind of an issue, or that it's bothering you at all. Because if it does stop the second hand, it'll be at a time when you're not really using the watch anyway. So yeah, there you go. Also, as far as the hand alignment is concerned, if you think that the hands are out of alignment, you can check that. I think this is one of those Casios that will automatically kind of correct itself every now and then, even if you don't do anything. But if you just want to check, just, you know, out of concern, here's what you do to check the hand alignment. Pull the crown out, okay? And again, it's showing you the time zone that you've selected right there. But now if I press and hold this button for like 7 or 8 seconds, let me just hold that button down when it's here. It starts to do things, but keep holding. And then eventually, okay, there it's showing you the second hand went up to the 12, just quickly to show you the second hand was properly aligned. And now watch as the other hands do a little dance independent of each other until at some point they're all going to be pointed straight up at the 12. And, you know, depending on my camera angle there, it looks like it's in perfect alignment. So you're good to go there. You could then press the crown in and to be done with your hand alignment check. But what if you're concerned about this date window too? I'm going to press this button here. And now the date is going to spin around until it gets all the way back to the number 1. And then you can check there and see if the number 1 looks like it's aligned, or if you want it to move slightly up or slightly down. And if you need to move that slightly up or slightly down to get the date perfectly centered in that window, you just use turn this crown in order to make that adjustment. But anyway, I don't need to do that. I already checked it. I did, after I got this, think that the date was a little bit a little bit too high or a little bit too low. So I did make that adjustment already. But anyway, I'm going to sit here and let it finish spinning around to the number 1 before I'll go ahead and press the crown in. Okay, so everything looks well aligned to me. The number 1 there and the hands, everything. So I'm done with my hand alignment check. I'm just going to push the crown back in now and watch as those hands independently dance around and are now showing me the correct time, hours, minutes, and seconds, and then that just went ahead to the correct date, and I'm good to go here. Here's a quick look at the luminous material on here. It's kind of fun. Up at the 12 o'clock and down at the 6 o'clock position, there's kind of a green dot, and on some of the other markers and the hands themselves, it's kind of that nice, I don't know, pretty blue color for the luminous material. So this isn't the best demonstration of what this looks like, but it gives you a little bit of an idea. I think this is a little bit higher quality luminous material than I would find on most of my other Casio watches, including G-Shocks. Looks like that's going to stay bright longer than I've normally come to expect. It's a pretty color there, and I kind of like the way that looks. So fun on the Lume. Here's the official weigh-in. We're looking at about 81 grams. Pretty good. It's a substantial, the case seems substantial. Of course, titanium usually pretty lightweight. And it'll weigh a little bit more by the time I get my hands on those other links that I'm waiting to arrive. But as you can see, right close to 80 grams on this scale. And there you go. Now, you could find other versions of this watch, different colors. You can still find them. Well, there are a bunch of used ones on eBay. You could find this one used for somewhere under $500. Find it brand new again for, $900 or more. If you look for kind of the more standard colors, maybe the blue one, you can find those for somewhere between $400 and $500 brand new on eBay right now, and they're shipped over from Japan. You can find someone over there. As far as I know, the Oceanus watches are never officially been available on the US market, or maybe anywhere except Japan. So keep that in mind if you're looking for this. It's a little bit of an unusual find, but you can get them and they're nice. And so I'm keeping this one absolutely for sure because I keep all my watches. Give me a break. You know me. Oh, wait, hang on. Before I go, I wanted to show you, this is a little bit small compared to some of my other watches. So let me just show you how it lines up with, this is one of the smaller G-Shocks that I have, the AWG M100. So it kind of lines up with that as opposed to, here's one I recently got at Walmart. You can see is much larger there. Here's a big G-Shock I've had for a while, the GWM500. So you can see how that compares here. Take something like this Edifice watch, and you can see it's quite a bit bigger there. So this is on the smaller side compared to some of my other watches. It's all right. You know, I'm not complaining about that. And some people might prefer that. Just wanted to let you know a little bit of a size comparison since I can't do a proper wrist shot today. All right, so anyway, that's all for now. I've got some watches I haven't even hinted about yet. So yeah, there are more watch reviews coming and just more general good times coming up soon. So please join me again for more episodes of the Good Timekeeping Show.